Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Krueger Family Farms. It's later in the day now on Easter. Right now, I'm standing next to our scissor lift. It's a Skyjack SJ3 3219 scissor lift, and then we got our I don't know what brand that is, other than our other scissor lift, which I don't know. Oh, it's a hybrid lift. That one's only a 14-foot lift. This is a 32. That Skyjack is. Moving over to this side of the shop here. Our Takeuchi. I call it the Taco or the Mini X, which is what it is. TB 138FR. That FR stands for this part up here. Most Mini X's, they'll have it right here where it's one pivot point right here where you have to angle the boom back and forth right up here in front of the cab. This boom over here can side shift all the way over to this side of the cab to dig out a box square. And then here is our, what model is this? It's our square shooter SS 842 turbo telehandler. As you know, we have a few other machines around the farm. I'm coming out the walk shop door to the south here to the shop quick. Because I'm going to give you an equipment and attachment tour today, I think. This is what my goal is. Got about a foot of snow back behind the barn here. Probably over a foot. Here is our Nordell rock grapple bucket for the skid steer, which I'll try getting some footage of running that this summer. Doing some manure pile cleaning. Here is our auger with I think that's a 1 foot bit or 8-inch bit up there. I think it's a 1 foot bit, and then we got our 18-inch bit there. Here's our 1 foot Mini X bucket, and this right here is a concrete chute me and my dad rigged up for the front of the skid steer bucket to do sonotubes for concrete. Here's our rotary mower for the tractor for behind the Kubota. Our tine harrow for the 3-point of the Kubota, or whatever tractor we really want to put on, Kubota preferably. 2-bottom plow for behind the Kubota. Our cultivator for behind the Kubota. And our rototiller for behind the orange machine. The sun is blinding today. I found a round baler down by Gwinner, actually down in Gwinner at the Bobcat dealer that I'm looking at potentially picking up. It is that down there is a Case IH 8465 automatic. Auto tie baler 5x6 bales is what it'll make. That over there is our John Deere 5-bottom plow, and here is our 966 loader tractor. We got the plow back there. I was running it behind it last fall, which don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, we have a loader tractor. Don't think we don't. We do. Here is our 1566 International Turbo, obviously, with the duals on. And our John Deere 220 disc behind them. Yeah, I got a few bearings to go through on this spring before I can really start doing haying. I mean, field work. Not haying, I ain't gonna do that for a while. At least a good couple months before that happens. That 966 over there is gonna be a hay cutting tractor this summer with the old 499 New Holland hay bind, which is another reason I came out here, because I wanted to talk about this whole unit a little bit. This hay bind of ours right here, my great uncle and grandpa bought it together back in the day. So last summer I asked my great uncle what he wanted for his half of it, and he's like, he can just have it. I'm like, okay, because I'm trying to take over starting to do our own haying instead of having him do it. But as you can see, maybe not, don't know how this will do justice, but down in here we're missing bolts to keep this thing here from shifting over, which that sucks when that happens. And we got to go through and raise this part up, which gets raised up by tightening this nut down right here, and it'll raise it up. And then you tighten this nut down, the top nut there, after you get it adjusted to lock it into place. And then here's the loader that goes on the front of our 966 International. It's got the grapple bucket. So don't ask me, do you guys have a grapple bucket for the tractor? Or grapple buckets on your farm? Yeah, we do have grapple buckets on the farm. One other thing don't ask me is, do I prefer grapple buckets on tractors or bale spears? Tell you right now, the only answer I got is I'll run a grapple bucket before a set of bale spears any day of the week. There's our old side delivery hay rake that I was raking hay with last summer. As you guys, if you watch those videos, I had a 3-part series to that of raking hay. And then there's our old 6-bottom moldboard plow. And then the machine that I've been talking about for a long time on the channel here, I'm heading over there right now to them. It'll take me a while to get over there because I'm not rushing today. Not rushing. Even though I could be, I chose not to. because this frickin' snow is so wet and heavy to walk through the way it is. Doesn't need to use up any extra energy. Plus, people are up at the house right now watching a movie, and the movie was kind of boring in my opinion, so I walked out and did chicken chores instead of sticking around for it. Well, here's the bucket for the old machine. For the old trusty Mustang. Needs a little bit of a reinforcement this spring. Yeah. I'm gonna have to come down here with the skid loader eventually and flip it over to get it back up out of there. What am I walking over to show you guys? Can you guess? It's the machine I've been talking about in a lot of my videos. This year is the year that we're gonna fix the Mustang 960 skid loader. Or at least I want to. I really, really do. Because we had the back wheel bearing go out on it quite a few years back. And need to get it back up and going because I want to be using it again. It's got the old single pin quick attach that Mustang used to have, which was fine because my dad went through and welded up a quick attach plate for the front of it. You know why? It ain't for that bucket, I'll tell you that much. That bucket is single pin. But what we did have to weld it up for was the pallet forks. Because our pallet forks originally were universal quick attach. Which, if you're wondering what's the difference between single pin and universal, you can't put single pin attachments on a universal quick attach. Because universal is where it got the two locking tabs to lock down on there. I mean, we can put a single pin quick attach on there because we got the adapter plate that we rigged up for it. Most people can't. Whether my dad welded up for it. Most people can't do that. Just like you really can't put a single pin attachment on the front of a universal quick attach machine. Yeah, well, we've done that too. Not with an adapter plate by any means. We just, we didn't even have it locked on the machine. We just scooped it up and we just scooped up the bucket or that bucket down there with my dad's skid, because my dad's skid is the universal quick attach. My grandpa's is the single pin. We just scooped it up just to move grain around, because then we weren't using the other bucket for grain, because we'd usually end up leaving grain sitting in the bucket. Why do I, for some reason, see tire tracks right through our drainage ditch area over here? My guess is there's water down below here, which wouldn't surprise me at all that there'd be water down below right now. So that's why I walked further toward the edge of it than normal, because I don't want to get soaking wet up to my knees when I was already had wet feet earlier today and wet pants because I was walking through snow with my work boots on. Well, they weren't my work boots, they were my good boots, but I prefer them for moving snow. And then, well, my dad ended up doing the snow this time around, which whatever. He likes moving snow. Don't blame him, I do too. I actually love moving snow, but I'm getting back up to the yard here right now, and got a few attachments to show you. One of them, my dad actually built. For starters, I'll show you one attachment that is not mine. My dad's from my grandpa's, it's my great uncle's. His wife's dad's Alice Chalmers sickle mower. And I just found the drag of ours that had gotten buried below the snow. Here's my great uncle's box blade for his little utility tractor. And one of my favorite attachments for moving snow. Here is the Schulte. Don't know if you can see it. 7400 snowblower. 7400 stands for 74-inch snowblower. We put it on the front of the skid loader, which makes it really slick. And try not to fall over backwards. But here's the machine, the attachment I was going to tell you that my dad built. Well, built it for a cousin, but we've used it a lot over the years because the cousin didn't need it, and well, we had it for the longest time, and then he needed it, so we took it into him, and then we needed it again, so we got it back from him. It is a rafter hook that my dad built out of metal. This right in here, this piece up here that I'm holding right here slides into this piece here, slides into this piece. And then my dad's got it where he's got a hydraulic cylinder he put on here to extend it out and reach the higher up stuff that you would need it for, like for swinging in rafters. We needed it to help a buddy out this fall with swinging in rafters, so we put it on the front of the deer steer. This rafter hook actually was meant for the 960 Mustang and the old single pin quick attach, because my cousin actually had the cousin that my dad made it for had to buy an adapter plate to put on his skid steers. But my dad also welded this chain here into the end of it. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways, he welded the chain onto the end of the square tubing right there. Moving on. Here are my dad's pallet forks for the skid steer. I absolutely love these things. If you ever ask me, hey, why don't you use them to move hay? There's a reason. I just prefer using these pallet forks over here. If you ask me, hey, what's the difference between the two? Well, the difference is these forks here slide wider than them forks there. Only perk about those forks over there is the tines on them are longer than the tines on these forks. These are about 3.5 foot tines, maybe. Those are like 4 foot tines. Maybe 4.5 foot, I don't know. They're 48-inch tines. So yeah, they'd be 4 foot tines. And as you can see, these forks over here are set up with the universal quick attach. So we don't get the single pin on it. Like we do for my grandpa's forks. Which, my grandpa's forks are these forks right over here that I was always showing you. Because that single pin, so we hook up under this with the adapter plate my dad made up. And then we lock the pin down, which goes through this. And then you have the forks locked on. One of the best machines I've ever, one of my favorite machines on the farm. Yeah, I wouldn't even call it one of my favorites. Because it really, I mean it is, but it isn't. Tell you my favorite machine, you'll probably guess it. This is one of my favorite machines. The Kubota B2650 utility tractor with the hydrostatic transmission. Why do I like it so much? People always say, yeah, Kubota doesn't make the best ag tractor. I'll agree with that. I really will. But one thing I'll even agree more with is they make the best compact utility tractor on the market. Because this thing is built like a freaking brick house. I have not ever really had many problems with it. I really haven't. I mean, I've had a couple problems. Hold on, I'm trying to grab that pin or that clevis. Yeah, I dropped the clevis hitch. Pulling on the back of the tractor because I just don't need it in there right now. Which is fine, whatever. I don't need it. And then here's the blade for the back of the tractor. I got the pin on there right now. We don't got the bent 3-point link anymore, as you can see. So what happened to that one? Well, I got sick of having to fight it and unhook an attachment every time I wanted to adjust the 3-point. I had to unhook the top link, and these down in here were originally too wide for this 3-point. So what did my dad go through and do to make it fixed? He took the angle grinder Cut off about an 1/8 of an inch on each side of that to make it fit better. And you guys know we got my dad's pickup still, the 1-ton. The F350 XLT, his first ever brand new pickup that he's gotten himself. And it's very wet in the yard today. It is insanely wet. What am I coming over here for? Ooh, I forget about that. That back there is a tractor my dad's mom actually bought from back in the day. His old Ford 8000. Or, don't remember what it was. It's an old Ford tractor and he absolutely loves it. He misses using it too. We got all red right here. It's a 350 Lariat Super Duty. It's got the 7.3 Power Stroke diesel V8, the 7.3 Power Stroke V8 turbo diesel in the inner. We absolutely love the truck. We really do. My dad loves it more than I do. Actually, he loves it about just as much as I do because it's a damn good truck. Well, the door handles doesn't work from the outside anymore. Doesn't work from the inside either. We got the bench seat in here. Automatic transmission. Oh man, this pickup smells so good. I really want to help my dad get this truck going this summer because he loves it. My dad absolutely loves this pickup. It's got, let me hop in there quick actually. It's got 383,686 miles on it. So it's got a couple miles on it. I mean, it ain't a bad thing. This pickup's always been reliable. It's on its second engine, second transmission, third rear end, which my dad bought it used from the guy before him. Knowing the guy before him, which we don't. I don't, at least. Probably beat the crap out of it. And then here's our second F350 with the 7. This is actually an F450 flatbed with the 7.3 Power Stroke in it. With the bench seat. I don't know who broke the mirror on it. Somebody did. I should actually cut that off quick. See how actually, if somebody actually did break it or not. Hold on. Sec. Thing is, nothing's wrong with the mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing's wrong with the mirror on it. I didn't show you the L8000 dump truck or the L9000 boom truck, which we have both of them. We still got them. Haven't gotten rid of them, and we won't ever get rid of them. Here is our 80s F-250 pickup. And then there's our FT20E pintle hitch trailer, skid steer equipment trailer. Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, that trailer will pull more than it should, or hold more than it should. We still got my pickup. And the machine that you've seen the most in my videos, and me running the most, the John Deere 317 skid steer loader. Pretty sure it's a '05 model. Between the '05 and an '10, but between the '05, 20, it's between a 2005 and 2010 model machine. And there's my pickup, my F-150X, or the one my dad bought for me. F-150 XLT, two-wheel drive, automatic transmission. Bet I could pull more than a Tesla Cybertruck with it, though. It ain't meant to pull, but bet I would outpull a Cybertruck. I actually would put it up against a Cybertruck in a pulling competition. I really would. Oh, son of a bitch. I mean, son of a gun. The snow is melting fast today. Which I'm back in the shop now, so I'm taking my muck boots off and throwing my cowboy boots back on. Because I don't want to wear my chicken chores boots in the house like my brother that likes to wear his chicken chores boots in the house, throughout the house, all over the house. That ain't the way we were raised at all. Wasn't. It just wasn't. Well, here is the F-350 XLT of my dad. It's the first brand new vehicle he was ever able to buy for himself. Which, in a way, it is a sad thing, but he always made sure my mom had the more reliable vehicle for running us kids around places. So don't say, oh, you could have bought yourself a brand new vehicle a long time ago. He didn't want to. He wanted my mom to have something reliable because she was always running us kids around and running and getting him parts and stuff. He loved his 7.3. He would run that. He'll run that till the day he dies because he absolutely loves it. One other thing I'm going to get into here. A hitch. A hitch in the back of your pickup. People say it's illegal to keep a hitch in the back of your pickup. Personally, I don't think it should be. Because If somebody comes flying up behind you or comes up behind you not paying attention and, well, they rear end you, they're going to hit this before they hit any of this. They'll hit that. That'll do the damage. Because you should be able to pay enough attention when you're driving to not go in and rear end somebody. Plus, a hitch will save you in an accident, but that's why it's illegal, I guess, because it'll do more damage to their car. Sorry, I don't care. You're the idiot that rear-ended me. I don't care if I did damage to your vehicle. You're the one that rear-ended me like a dingbat. If you don't want the hitch going through your radiators and stuff, don't rear-end a guy. Worst part is if you got a drop hitch in or a pintle hitch. Them things. I've seen people rear-end them before, and the person that rear-ended the person ends up a lot worse than the person that got rear-ended. Cause yeah, they got it good. That's all I got for today's video, folks. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch, which is what Travis the Restorer always says. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.